Hello everyone, welcome to your course Introduction to Renewable Energy and Sustainable Development. In this course, we're going to be talk about what exactly the renewable energy is and what are the different forms of renewable energy we can utilize to attain the sustainable development. In this course, very wide kind of an topic has been covered, starting from what exactly the renewable energy is and what is its importance are there to attain the sustainable development. Also, we're going to be talk about the brief about solar energy. In solar energy, what are the different types of radiations are receiving on the Earth's surface? We're going to also talk about global solar radiation map. In solar energy, we're going to be talk about the solar photovoltaic technology, working of solar photovoltaic system, utility scale type of an solar project. Also, we'll talk about some statistical analysis of cumulative global install capacity of solar PV projects in terms of gigawatt and also the market size in terms of $1 billion. So here basically we're going to be talk exactly how the outlook is there when we talk about the overall statistics at world level. Similarly, we're also going to talk about the second type of an renewable energy, what we can utilize from solar, which is a solar thermal energy. We'll also talk about the working of solar thermal power stations. We'll here in this lecture, we'll talk about what are the different types of solar collectors are there. Like we have a parabolic collector, then the dish collector, linear Fresnel collector, and power tower applications. Each and every specification will going to be talked in this lecture. We'll also talk some statistical part regarding the cumulative capacity of solar thermal energy worldwide and what is a concentrated solar power market will be there in terms of dollars. Similarly, we'll also talk about the third form of or widely used form of renewable energy, which is the wind energy. In this lecture, we'll talk about what exactly the wind power is and how exactly the wind power plant is working. Similarly, we'll talk about the statistical analysis of cumulative capacity of wind power plant worldwide and its market size. We'll talk about the next form of renewable energy, which is the geothermal energy. And its working also we're going to be see exactly how exactly the geothermal power plants is working. We'll talk about the top geothermal countries and their global potential, what it has been estimated so that we can utilize geothermal energy in that form. We'll also talk about the average install cost of the geothermal energy in per kilowatt basis and what is the market size of geothermal energy currently. Similarly, we'll also going to focus on the another renewable form which is of hydropower. We'll talk about the how exactly the hydropower stations are working and how exactly the power system is getting generated due to the kinetic energy of water which has been utilized. We'll talk about some statistical data regarding the hydropower plant install capacity all over the world, which countries are leading in the hydropower installations, and what is the current market size for hydropower. We'll talk about the next form of renewable energy, which is a tidal energy, and exactly how the tidal power stations are working. We know that the very vast form of energy is a tidal energy, from which we are getting from the ocean and movement of the overall gravitational force of Earth and Moon rotation. So from that, we're going to understand how exactly the tidal system is working and how we can potentially extract the energy from this particular tidal source. We'll also talk about the new form of energy which has been utilized by some of a country, which is a wave energy. Wave energy is also extracted from the movement of a wave in an ocean. How exactly the wave power stations are working, that parameter we're going to talk. Similarly, we'll also talk about the statistical data of status of wave and tidal power plant and how exactly the wave and tidal energy market size is there in worldwide market. We'll talk about the next form of renewable energy, which is a biomass energy. And it the biomass type we're going to be talk over here. How exactly we can convert the heat and other form of energy from the biomass energy and what are the different kinds of forms are there. Here we're going to talk how exactly we are extracting the energy from biomass by using the incineration process, gasification process. Also, what are the modern kind of the processes are there? Like we can use this biomass in the boilers, we can generate the biogas, ethanol, and the biodiesel preparation from the biomass. In detail process, we're going to be talk in this particular lecture. Also, we'll talk about some statistical data regarding list of the countries by electricity generation from the biomass energy. What are the different countries who are generating the electricity with the help of biomass burning? Similarly, we'll talk about the biomass based plant install capacity region wise and the market size will going to be analyzed. We'll also focus upon what are the conventional natural resources are there. Like we have fossil fuels of coal, gas, and oil. What is the current status and how much years of reserve is left for us? Here we're going to talk about the world coal reserve and leading producers of the coal and what is their capacity of extraction and what kind of a reserve will be there which is being expected. Also, we're going to talk about the world oil reserve. How much amount of the crude oil will be left over in the earth crust? That parameter we're going to talk over here. We'll talk what are the leading producers of coals are there and what is exactly the production to reserve ratio for this particular case. We'll also talk about the natural gas reserve. What are the countries are extracting the natural gas and leading countries based on their production parameter we're going to identify. Also, we'll talk about the new power, what we can see, which is a nuclear power status. Also, what we'll talk about the uranium mining production status all over the world. We'll talk about in the next lecture that percentage of world electricity generation by fuel like coal, oil, natural gas, hydropower, renewable power, what exactly the percentage is there for all over the world electricity generation. Also, we'll talk about the global fossil fuel consumption and world fossil fuel reserve, which has been left. Here we're going to be talk all over how much amount of years of reserve is left for the fossil fuel and what is the need for integration of renewable energy into the system. We'll also talk about the sustainable development and how the renewable energy technologies contribution to the sustainable development. To attain the sustainable development, why it is required to integrate with the renewable energy, this parameter in detail we're going to talk. Also, we'll focus on 17 sustainable development goals and the current status of sustainable development based upon the data which has been received and based upon the individual analysis of each and every goal. Also, we're going to be talk about what action we can do to achieve the sustainable development goals by integrating the renewable energy into the current system. I welcome you in the course. Let's start.